Now that Christmas is over, I thought I would jump on here and tell y'all some interesting things this year from the holiday season that I picked up on. I decided to do Santa from my lodge and thought what was something I could do to help, raise funds for the many charities that we donate to, or, just whatever can help the lodge in order to benefit other things that we do. In case you didn't know, Freemasonry is a lot of philanthropic stuff. Yes, it's a society that has secrets, but it's not a secret society. Anyways, long story short, I just wanted to do something that I thought I could help. I know it takes me about a year to grow my beard out. This is how long my beard was last December before I decided to grow it out for Santa. So it takes about 1 year for me to grow a full beard like I had as Santa. But I thought to myself, if I can make enough money to pay for the suits, and the suits were about $300 to $400 a piece. I have two of them just in case, one failed. And I will say they are not top of the line suits. They're pretty basic. But they worked, did what needed to be done. And made enough bookings to pay for the suits, and did a lot of nonprofit bookings, and talked to a lot of kids, a lot of special needs kids. Man, I tell you, it was I just can't tell you what you get out of it. It's unlike anything I've ever felt before. Especially for the special needs kids and their parents, and what they go through, it really puts things into perspective. We face a lot of challenges in everyday life, but you just never know what somebody's going through. And this year I learned that all too well. I get a little bit of my feelings sometimes, so definitely shed some tears and helped some dry their tears. I did some mall visits, and there was a mom that came to take pictures with her son. And, I observe everything. So kind of younger lady, not wearing her wedding ring. Young boy asking for lots of Lego sets. Good boy. Very, very, very good boy. And, he was telling me, oh, we're going to be living with grandma and grandpa soon. And, I just started picking up that things may have not have been going as well for her financially. Even though she said she was a nurse, I know nurses make good money, but I don't know. You never know what she's going through. She wasn't wearing any fancy clothes. She didn't have a fancy purse. The pictures, the cheapest picture I think was like $10 or $20, something like that. Now this was at an event that they took the pictures and they, did all that. And she went to pay, and she didn't have the money to pay for it, and thought she did, but she didn't. So the young lady that was working there said, I will take care of it. I want you to have these pictures. And she broke down, was crying, just very thankful. And, you just never know. You never know what people are going through. But, I did an event for kids that were all in foster care here in Shelby County. Memphis, Shelby County, has probably the vast majority of children in state custody and foster care in the whole state of Tennessee. And, to see those kids' eyes light up with what Shelby County Sheriff's Department did for them was just amazing. They gave them bikes everything they asked for on their list, other people paid for it. It was $250 to sponsor a child, and the gym that we were in was slap full. I think it had like 80 or 90, probably more than that, bags with bikes next to them. And if you check out my Santa Cruz Facebook page, those pictures are on there. You could see what the gym setup looked like. And shout out to the young lady that put that on. Her name's Tanya. If you're interested in donating to help that, it'd be let me know. I'll put you in touch with them. But just some great things, some amazing home visits too. I don't want to act like those weren't, pretty awesome as well. Paid events, went very well this year, and some really great families out there. And one of the things too is I ramble a lot, and I know that, but I talk to people, and I try to learn about people. I'm obviously a big empath, and I carry around a lot of other people's problems because I want to be able to help them or understand them, or at least listen to them, because sometimes that's all people need, is somebody to listen to them. Anyways, this lady she was one of the first people that booked me for a home visit. And she was a referral from another local Santa that couldn't do the event. And it was, I think I charged her like $150 for a home visit. And her husband had Venmo'd me the deposit, $50 deposit. And they were going to pay the rest when I got there. And before I went, we had talked about how she wanted to do it. She wanted to leave. There were going to be several kids there, some family and friends there with their little kids. And they were going to leave a naughty and nice list and gifts for each kid, one gift per kid. And I was just going to get them in the garage, put them in my Santa toy sack, and bring them in and talk to them all or whatever. And so while we were talking, I said, what I normally do is I ask them if they've been good or bad, and I may read them a story or something like that. And so I said, and then sometimes I ask the parents if they've been good or bad. And she said, my boys have been really good. It's been a really tough year for them. And I said, I'm sorry to hear that. And she said, yeah, my husband's been diagnosed with cancer. He's going through the treatment right now. He's lost all his hair. So he has no hair, no eyebrows, stuff like that. If you had somebody in your family with cancer and they've gone through the treatments, that that's part of it. And, it hits home for me. Lost my father-in-law to cancer, his dad to cancer, other family members on my wife's side to cancer. It's horrible. So we know, right? We've seen it happen before. Those boys were like 5 and 3, just babies. And she had asked me before I came, so a few weeks later or whatever, a month later, I go to do the visit. And she asked me, hey, what do I owe you? And I said, I'll have to check. Let me see. I can't remember. I did have a lot of bookings, and I couldn't remember who owed me what. I had it listed, but off the top of my head, I couldn't remember it. And so I get there. I do the event. She introduces herself. I see her husband there. Do the event. She says, I'm texting you right now, Santa. I said, okay. I get out to the car, and she says, hey, I really think that we still owe you money, because I told her, I was like, oh no, you've paid up, you're good. She's like, no, I still think we owe you money. Can you double check and make sure how much I owe you? We only sent you the deposit. Now I was not going to make her pay, right? It had nothing to do with trying to make me feel better about the situation. It's a tough situation to be in. And, she told me what her job was. I know they don't make a whole lot of money. I think, most people know probably what profession she's in, but she doesn't get paid enough to do her job. And with him, going through cancer and chemo and stuff, he's probably not working. I don't know. I didn't ask. They had a nice house. Well, they may be doing okay, but that $100 could help them, and I'm okay. The first time in my life, I'm really okay. Financially, everything. And so I sent her a text after I left and basically told her I lost my father-in-law to cancer, and it's tough, and I know it. And I said, and every day I think about him, and more especially today, because, what you're going through. Oh, here we go. A little emotional. And so I just told her, I said, listen, don't worry about paying me. Keep me in mind next year. I'd love to see you and all your boys again next year. And she responded back hours later that she was in tears and blah. And I hate that. I don't want to upset her, but I was okay with it. And I hope she was okay with it. And so I leave, whatever, go on about my day. And I think that particular day I had started at 8 a.m. and it was ending at like 8:30 at night or something. Yeah. So it was a long day. Finished that day up. The very next day, one more booking. This one is literally 12 minutes from my house. Right down the road. Guy only wants me to stay for 30 minutes. I charge him 30-minute rate. He books through a website called Gig Salad. They send out requests for Santas, several other entertainer things. Anyways, so I show up at his house, and it's a company Christmas party, basically, that he's doing at his house. And he's in the mortgage industry, and most of the people there are, grown. There's very few small kids, a couple, but very few. And so I do the event. Everything's great, talk to the small kids, and I leave, head home. And as I'm going outside, he says, hey, do you have a Venmo or something? I'd like to give you a tip. And I said, yeah, absolutely. I said, it's not necessary, but I appreciate it. A lot of people tip, so it's always nice. So I sent him my Venmo, and he had not sent anything, and I didn't think anything about it. And then randomly, I got a text from him, and it says, hey, sorry, just sent your tip. Thank you so much. And at the same time, I saw a review pop up on Gig Salad. Now, those are big because people want reviews, right? Man, guy left me a really good review, and which I thought was awesome. Then I checked my Venmo, and the guy tips me $100, right? I was there for 30 minutes. He had already paid his full price. And, so that $100 covered the cost or what I would have made at that other lady's house. And so my whole point of telling you all this is sometimes things come full circle, right? And a lot of people want me to call their kids as Santa or come and visit and, and can you just stop by and whatever. And I don't mind doing free events. That doesn't bother me because I booked a lot of stuff just on my own that was just free, special needs events, free. Pictures at the lodge, free. We were accepting donations, but we didn't charge anybody. Professional style pictures, and I wasn't sure how well that would go over. It went over pretty well. We have a better idea for next year on what to do. But for somebody like that lady who couldn't afford a picture, we printed her a picture. We would print you off a 5x7 there and then send you emails of all the digital copies, no charge. The other place I was doing it, it was like at least $50 for them to send you the digital copies. So, and that's fine. They're running a business and that's how they get paid, and I understand it. So, but, certain things go differently or should go differently in my mind. But Um, anyways, the last thing I want to say, it's a long video, I get it. The things that kids ask for, you would be so surprised. A lot of them ask for regular toys, iPads, tablets, iPhones. A lot of kids asking for livestock, horses. The kids that were out in the country, they're asking for shotguns and stuff like that. But I tell you, there were several kids. A little girl asked me for money, and I said, "Oh, you want money, huh? You've been a good girl." And I said, "I don't know if I can do money though. I'm just a toy maker." And she goes, "Oh, well, the money's not for me. I want to be able to help the homeless." That was in right in the chest moment. And then another little girl had asked, the only thing she wanted was her family to be together for Christmas. Another little boy told me he just wished that me and Mrs. Claus had a good Christmas and that I got plenty of rest. One of the special needs events, a guy talked to me. He was like 38 years old. He had cerebral palsy, I believe, child mindset. For the first 5 minutes we talked, all he wanted to do was tell me how great his mother was, how good she was to him, how much she took care of him. Finally got him to tell me what he wants for Christmas. A wall clock. A wall clock for his bedroom. Perception, right? I see all these people post about, be careful what you tell your kids comes from Santa. Because there's other kids out there that won't get stuff like that. And, they just don't get to see anything like that, ever, maybe. Parents just don't have the money like that, whatever the reason is. And I agree with that, So when I'm Santa and when the kids are asking me for stuff like that, I tell them, I'm just a simple toy maker. You don't want any dolls or baseball bats. I try to appease them, but at the same time, there are people out there that work really hard and have excelled in life, and they want to give their kids everything. And if they still want to tell them it's from Santa, I get it. They want their kids to still believe in Santa. It's totally fine too. They're both fine. But just be able to explain to your kids at some point, like, hey, some kids are a little bit more fortunate than others. And however you want to do that, just do it. Be respectful of other people's feelings. Think about them. Think about their kids. But in any case, I hope that everybody had an amazing Christmas, and I wish everyone a happy New Year. It's so good to be done with stuff for a little bit, kind of relaxing, being able to see my chins again. That's nice. And I look forward to next year. So going to try to do more home visits. And, those things pay for those nonprofit events where I've spent most of the day and doing stuff for, nothing other than the gratitude that you get from it. I know it sounds crazy, but I spend a lot of time away from home. I miss a lot of, time with my wife and my little boy. And, partially I do it for the extra income. This is great. I also do it just the feeling that you get from it, and being able to spread some holiday cheer for those other people. So anyways, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Good night.